I've always been curious about where we draw the line between privacy and security and surveillance, and how with some people, they feel like they have nothing to hide and are willing to give up on some privacy as long as that will bring more security, and others feel the opposite, that privacy is so essential to their way of life. Lifehack is a feature comedy about a couple of cybercrime victims who seek help to track down the guilty hacker. So I had a very basic concept of the main character. This is like over 10 years ago. This guy who contracts a computer virus and tries to seek revenge. Once stories started coming out, like the big Sony hack and the nude celebrity iCloud pictures hack, as more and more stories like that and hacking was becoming more and more of a common headline, I realized that if I was ever going to make this movie, the timing was right and I really had to make it now. So because of the timeliness of the subject matter, I really needed to try to future-proof it as much as possible. When it was becoming more headline news, I knew I had to do my best to keep it relevant with specifics of what I was putting into the script, looking a few years ahead from the time I was writing to shooting, and then by the time it was released, I had to make sure that there wasn't anything that would be dated. So I guess that was kind of somewhat of a challenge to do. Since I wear a lot of different hats from writing the script, I'm also thinking as a director about how I'll be shooting it, and especially when shooting, I'm thinking as an editor how I'm going to be putting each of these pieces together, which takes, which pieces, which lines even that I'll be taking from which takes. So I have that kind of consistent vision throughout the whole process. But with that said, with working with some actors, and I encourage improv, especially with this project, there are definitely some different takes on performances that maybe are different in a good way from what I had originally written. On the flip side of that, since it's such a low budget feature, you have to make compromises. So even though I have that ideal image of what I want, sometimes just I have to be more creative without having the money to figure out how different ways to get that across. My advice to upcoming filmmakers would be to be as bluntly honest as possible. Be honest with yourself, with your talents, your weaknesses, and most importantly, with the quality of the script, because it's become so much easier to make a movie that looks decent on the surface. There's just a lot of crap that's being made at the end of the day, and most importantly, the most important elements, I guess, story, dialogue, performances, the skill of putting all of this together, pacing, just all these things are overlooked because people are blinded by the fact that they have this passion to make this movie and just hope that it's just going to magically come together, and often it doesn't. So staying realistic with the entire process would be my strongest advice.